In the black bureaucracy of hell, there are demons who tempt, demons who accuse, and demons who destroy. But above the crawling kingdoms of filth sits Belzebuth, the fly, the lord of the flies, supreme chief of the empire of hell. He does not need to strike like lightning. He rules like infestation. Where one wound is left unclean, he gathers. Where one lie is allowed to rot, he multiplies. Where a throne, a church, a court, or a household begins to decay from within, his wings are already beating in the dark. The old name is bound to flies. In sacred and demonological memory, Belzebuth is the prince of demons, a power named in accusations of unclean spirits, and later crowned in the imagination of hell as a lord of corruption. But the fly is more than an insect. It is the herald of what has been abandoned. It arrives where purity has failed, where the body has opened, where the living world has begun to surrender to rot. Belzebuth is not merely the monster of decay. He is the administrator of decay. His empire is not built by fire alone, but by neglect, appetite, and compromise. He does not conquer mankind in a single hour. He lets mankind become accustomed to the smell. His first rule over humans is gluttony. Not only the hunger of the mouth, but the hunger that cannot stop consuming. A ruler consumes his people and calls it order. A merchant consumes the desperate and calls it success. A soul consumes pleasure, praise, outrage, and power, and calls the emptiness freedom. Under Belzebuth, appetite becomes law. His second rule is corruption. A clean word becomes a slogan. A sacred duty becomes a performance. Justice becomes theater. Mercy becomes weakness. Truth becomes whatever survives the swarm. The fly does not create the corpse, it announces that the corpse has been left unattended. His third rule is disease. Not only disease of flesh, but disease of systems. Fear spreads from mouth to mouth. Envy travels like fever. Cruelty becomes fashion. Cowardice becomes policy. The mind sickens before the body knows it is infected. His fourth rule is tyranny. In the Testament of Solomon, Belzebuth speaks of destruction through tyrants, of jealousies, murders, and wars. This is the empire of the fly, men who command without wisdom, crowds that obey without conscience, and institutions that preserve themselves by sacrificing the innocent. Yet Belzebuth's greatest power is not ugliness. It is familiarity. He teaches humanity to live beside the rot, then defend it, then worship it. He makes corruption useful. He makes decay profitable. He makes the swarm sound like applause. Look closely at his throne. The flies are not only around him. They are his citizens, his messengers, his witnesses. They move from round to banquet, from palace to grave, from false altar to infected crown. Nothing is too small for his empire, because every empire begins in a hidden place. In the world of mankind, his rule is rarely announced by horns or thunder. It begins with excuses. One compromise. One convenient cruelty. One appetite given a crown. One truth buried because it costs too much to speak. The swarm does not ask permission. It waits for warmth, moisture, and surrender. This is why Belzebuth is feared as more than a demon of flies. He is the intelligence of contamination. He teaches the powerful to rot from within and still call themselves pure. He teaches the fearful to obey decay because decay has become familiar. He teaches nations, families, and souls to mistake infection for inheritance. So remember Belzebuth, demon of the day, supreme chief of the empire of hell, lord of the flies, prince of gluttony, commander of legions. He rules not by strength alone, but by filth. He conquers not by thunder, but by corruption. And when mankind chooses rot over truth, the fly does not arrive as an invader. He arrives as king.